Hi everyone. Today we have Faye from UK. She's a front-end developer, and we'll talk about also WeStryve because I really want to. I'm really interested into that, but I don't really know this thing, so I want to ask to her what it exactly is, what do they do. But first of all, how are you, Faye?
Hey, yeah, I'm good. Thank you so much for inviting me to
Yeah,
speak with you. I was
yeah.
I was surprised.
Yeah, and the good thing about this kind of video calls that I can finally talk with my Twitter friends. So this is this is really something that I like to do. Yeah. So can you please introduce a little bit yourself? Can you tell us your story? How did you become a developer? And that's
Yeah, sure. So at the beginning of this year, say January this year, I had never coded before, ever, never done any code. And then I lost my job because of the pandemic and all that stuff that we don't need to talk about.
yeah.
And yeah, I thought, well, what could be a job where a skill that I learned where I could have a job and I can freelance and I can do, I wouldn't be relying on people so much to employ me. So yeah, I started to learn JavaScript. I bought a course on Udemy, and I I would sit for like 16 hours a day just absorbing everything and trying to learn everything. And then, yeah, I was kind of ill in hospital. I wasn't very well, so I had a little break, and now I'm fully back on it. And like you were saying earlier, I've started. I'm an intern with WeStryve, which is a tech community. We're trying to build it up to be like a tech community where you can say if you like PHP or Docker, you could go and start or join a Docker community and talk and teach and
Mm,
learn in that community. So I think it's really good to meet people.
mm. Yeah. So okay. So basically, it's a community where you can learn and also teach.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
so we haven't done
Sounds.
it yet. I mean, this is very new. This whole thing. Like
Yeah,
I've come
I
in
keep,
right at the
yeah,
beginning.
I keep seeing something on my
Yeah.
timelines about, and there are people with so cool T-shirts. I want one of them. Tell me how can I get one of them? But yeah, but it's yeah. I think that also it's good how you are what you are doing. I don't know how many people you were in the beginning. How many
Yeah.
people are
So
there?
there's
Tell me everything. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, the way that I've written a little bit about how I kind of got started, but the way that I kind of got started with it was that I reached out, like with like you were saying, I was seeing all this stuff on the timeline on Twitter, and I was thinking, what is this? Well, I'm seeing a lot about it. They're working hard, obviously, they're trying hard, but what is it? So I just I messaged Dan on Twitter, the founder, Dan. He's cool. Yeah, I just messaged him and I said, how do I get involved with this? Like, can I help? I'm learning. I can't. I'm not gonna revolutionize what you're doing, but I just want to. I'm learning. How can I help? And I was asking questions about the company, like, what do you want from the company? What are you trying to do? And all this kind of stuff. Yeah, and he said, he was open. He said, we can't pay you. We can't as an intern. I was like, yeah, fine, cool. Like I'm being paid in learning, I guess. I'm
Nice. So yeah. So
yeah,
for
I
for
hadn't
you,
done
it was a very good opportunity, I think. I don't
that.
know, yeah, but
Yeah, there's literally. I mean, when I started, it was Dan, Josh, and Nick. So there was literally three people
mm,
and me. And now Nick has left. Boo. So we don't even have a back end developer anymore. It's Josh, me and Josh are the front end people, and Dan is the founder. So it's just two front end people and Dan. Like, it's just kind of we,
yeah,
we, we get through.
but I see. Yeah, that's it. I don't know, but you have a good way to. let you know, to make you that know. So because I've seen it many times, so I get curious into that. I don't know if I'm the only one, but I don't think so. Because many people maybe are curious about that.
Yeah.
How can they join? What should they do? Do you have a site they can
I mean, I
contact
don't
directly?
think. Yeah. So in terms of like what I do, like interning, I don't know if there's any more room for that at the moment because obviously it's so small. But yeah, you can if you go on WeStryve.com, you can create an account, and I think there's loads of ways that you can get hoodies. I should have worn the hoodie. It's so
Yeah,
nice. It's my
yes.
favorite.
In
It
the next in our next call, I promise that I'll have something.
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah,
I'll
yeah.
have
You
something.
yeah, there's like there's so much stuff. There's t-shirts. We also have an Indiegogo campaign that you can donate to,
Mhm.
and like just to kind of help because yeah, it's not funded. We don't have any funding or investment or anything like that just yet. And yeah, you can people can donate to the campaign, which is on. I think it's the pinned tag at the top of the Twitter page, and so you can donate on there and get a hoodie or a T-shirt or whatever you want.
Mm.
So
Okay.
that's a good way to do it.
Nice. Nice. No, I was really curious about that. So yeah. So and yeah, can you tell I don't know something else about this? If you know, I don't know something that happened in the process from where you were involved into this project, for example. I don't know if you have something else to say about that.
About the
Mm,
project,
yeah,
about yeah, what I'm doing. So we
something else.
use yeah. So I'm learning how to use Vue now. I'd never used that before. Um, yeah, obviously I'd never used it before. I'd only done JavaScript and HTML and CSS. Little bit of CSS.
Okay.
And I've never done anything like that. And Git and all that. I knew about Git. I think it's very important. If you don't know Git, then or any sort of process like that, then you can't get in because it takes time to learn it. And when
Of
you go
course.
into a team, you haven't got time. You haven't got time to learn about branches and merges and
Mhm.
everything like that. I still get mixed up, but they're very patient.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think that's important. It's very important to learn. Yes, because it can be really useful. Yeah. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. Okay. Yeah. So you have used the Vue.js. You mean?
Yeah. So
Ah,
that's what we're using. And
what? Because I have I don't know why, but I've interviewed a lot of people that have used Vue.js. So I'd like to tell us your experience with Vue.js, how it has been, to see if it's something different or
well, yeah. I mean, I've got nothing to compare it to. Like I said, I've never used anything like it before.
yeah.
Um, and I'm still learning, so I find it very confusing at the moment. And I'm just learning the syntax, like V model and VF and VLs, which to me is confusing. But I think right now I'm just getting used to it, and I like the way that it's kind of all laid out, like everything connects to everything else, and you don't have to like link. I don't know. It doesn't seem like you have to link specifically to stuff. You can just kind of go, well, I want that file there, and you make a file there, and it just does it. Like
Mm.
it just connects it all
Oh,
automatically.
okay.
Yeah, I don't really know much about it.
Yeah, no, but I'm really curious about that because any person that I interviewed and they have used the Vue, they liked that. So maybe in your case it has been a little bit difficult because it was just getting started with that. But usually, what I get from people, because honestly, I've never used that in a production environment. I've just done something with that, but nothing special, nothing concrete, nothing deployed. Yeah, and usually what I say that it's a great community. They are really friendly. You can directly send messages to the creators of Vue, so them, which can be an advantage over other frameworks. Yeah, that's it. So yeah, for now I've never never met one person who said I use Vue and I don't like that. So
Yeah. No, yeah. I don't know. I mean, the documentation is laid out well. That's
Mhm.
all I know.
Yeah,
It's easy to find stuff
all of
in the
you
documentation.
say yeah, all of you say the same thing. So yeah,
Mhm.
I think
And
go.
yeah, no, it's nice because I can look at the Vue documentation, and we're using Tailwind as well, which has great documentation. And I can just kind of, they're both very easy to find what I want.
Mm, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in what I've heard from people who say, like, when I say that I'm using Vue and I'm learning it, they're like, "Oh, why aren't you using React?" And I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, probably if you had used the React, they would have asked
Yeah, why don't you?
the other way around. So
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, so yeah, and I think yeah, I think that the documentation for one project is really important. For example, in my case, I love Docker, and I love how they have documented the project. I stay on their site. I think every day to see if there is something new, to get something for my tweets about Docker. So now I'm telling all my secrets here, which are not actually secrets, but I usually yeah when I do my tweets about Docker, maybe I use something more visual, maybe, or sometimes, for example, I try to short the concepts because of the tweets, or I do threads. But basically, I start from the official documentations. So having a good documentation, I think it's one of the key things of a project.
Yeah,
If you have a perfect code working, but nobody knows about that, or they have problems, because yeah, basically people quit when they have problems. When they don't understand how things work, they quit basically because they don't know what to do. They ask to someone else who had never seen the real proper documentation. So
yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
it's
I
one
think
of
I'm quite different to maybe you and other people because I mean, I know that the documentation is very important, and I know, like, if there's easy documentation like Tailwind, but I just find it so boring. I just find it so boring.
that's why there are people that try to explain the
Yeah,
documentation.
yeah, yeah,
Otherwise, we will be really useless. Let me say this. Yes, because yeah, and I think that that's where a lot of content creators are. They are between the boring, as you said, boring documentation and the people who get started. So to be in that middle and trying to help them to understand the other difficult concepts, or maybe it's just text. Yeah, maybe it's good, but it's not exposed in a proper way. I don't know. It's not super. Developer friendly, to new
yeah,
developer friendly. That's it.
yeah.
It's just a way to give the concepts.
Yeah,
And
exactly. And I mean, when I was trying to like when I was trying to learn Docker, when I first started with WeStryve, actually, they would, they were like, we use Docker, and I'd never heard. Like, I literally, apart from your tweets, I never heard of Docker before. Um, and yeah, and I started reading the documentation,
but
and I fell
yeah,
asleep.
but yeah,
So
but
then I messaged you, and you you helped so much.
whenever you want, because I don't know if we can talk about this here, but yeah, but we don't have maybe some examples, but she's really has a really good sense of humor. When we make I don't have an example now, but yeah, please follow her because she's really amazing. Yeah, so I always like your tweets, your sense of humor. Even if I've never talked to you in person, I think for now it will be also way easier. I also I always understand the way you say something. Always, I think also you. I don't know, but yes, that's it. Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
yeah.
But yeah, I just I try and make stuff. I when I write blogs or articles or make videos.
Mhm.
I've got a few videos. I don't think anyone has seen them.
I
I
want to
just try.
I want to watch them now. Let me check them.
They're just
Yeah.
on stupid stuff because I don't know what I'm doing. So it's like, oh look, autofocus. Here's some HTML. I don't know what I'm doing. But yeah, I try and make stuff that is accessible, I suppose, like for everyone. And I, like I said, I just sometimes I think it has to be because it's very like important to read it, like we were saying. But just documentation, I think, is difficult to read. Is very difficult to read, and for some people, it would just put them off, and they think, I can't code. I don't know how to do it. I can't do it. Look at this. It doesn't make any sense. And it doesn't make any sense. And I think that's why we have to try and get people to understand it. And your stuff that you write about Docker is very good at helping people to understand, because I didn't know what it was before I started talking to you.
I really feel useful now. Thank you. This is really good sentiment. Yes, because sometimes maybe if one I'm not call me a super expert, but maybe you have done some mistakes. You have watched a lot of some tutorials. You have built the projects. I use that every day in production environment. So I've seen something. And then, by helping someone to get started, I think it's the most important part. Then you can move on whatever you want, your specific needs. It's really the beginning phase. I get so many questions like how I get started with Docker, how I get started with JavaScript, how to get started with Python. So I get way more questions about how to get started instead of just one specific question. I also get a lot of those, but I think it's the beginning part, which is the hardest part, especially for programming. Because
And that's why I think it's important to have communities like WeStryve, because you can go in there and you can say, look, I've never written a line of HTML in my life. Where do I start? And someone would help you. And I think on Twitter, because it's a lot bigger and there are very experienced people like you, and I wouldn't come to you to ask about HTML because you'd be like, what?
I'll answer you.
No, I don't think you would.
You don't know the answer. Probably I'll Google it and then I'll send you, because probably I'll Google it anyway, just to be sure that I don't say something silly.
Exactly. Loads of times people ask me questions and I'm like, I'm gonna need to Google that.
There's no problem.
It's no problem.
I use 99% of times before sending an answer to a person, I double check that. Also, if it's something that I'm quite sure about that before giving an answer, that's me. I don't know, because I don't want to give wrong answers for free. It could happen, but I prefer to check 2 or 3 times before. Also on something that I'm quite sure about that. Because I know that if there is some people which is pretty new, I don't want to bring them in the wrong direction from the beginning. So it's like if someone says, should I go on the left or on the right? And if you say something wrong in the beginning, they take a total wrong path, and it's all your fault. So I don't want to do that. So it's important.
And then there's so many different paths that I think there's no right way to do it, because I think like I started with JavaScript and then I started learning Bootstrap and now I'm doing Vue. It's like I don't have a path. I'm just kind of flailing about trying to learn something.
I want to ask you, what do you think about this tech world, this developer world? Because let's say that you are kind of new. You're like a child. I don't know. You're kind of new in a good sense.
I am.
So maybe I'd like to know from you, which is your experience. Do you still feel lost?
Yes.
So you're still in that phase.
Do you know what it's like, actually? When you're like, imagine you're standing in a big field and there's nothing there and it's nighttime and you just stare up at the sky and you can just see all of these stars and you're like, what do I do next? Like, what?
And basically,
like, where do I go?
And basically the stars are the JavaScript frameworks.
They're all the frameworks and they're all saying, start with me.
That's it. I know exactly how do you feel now. I like really to help you if you need something, because this is what happened to me. For example, when I get serious into programming, I think it was like 5 years ago when I started getting serious. I mean, I started coding like I think like 20 years ago, but getting serious, I mean like coding every day. That's what I mean. Yeah, and in the beginning I wanted just to learn everything. So I, in my mind, I said, okay, now I want to learn everything about everything, and then I get started doing something. This is what my initial idea. I felt hard at doing this, because of course, because I decided to do a lot of courses, maybe some small little projects, and then jump on another technology. This approach is not a good one. So it's what I did in the beginning, but it's not a good one. So uh, I I know that you are confused now, but that's totally okay. So yeah, it's totally okay to feel lost, because there's so many different technologies. Yeah, and I think that the one you have chosen for now, they're pretty good also, in my
Yeah.
opinion. Of course, Docker is the best one.
Obvious.
Go on that, trust me. Yeah, because yeah, so it's totally fine. Take your time to understand. In my opinion, to you, or for, I don't know, for someone who's watching this, don't jump like me to a lot of different frameworks. Just you should choose one, build a working project, something better than I did, and then you choose to if you want to change or not. So yeah, you should try something, and let's see. And also, yeah, the basic.
Yeah, with projects though, like I did that thing where I was like, oh, I'm going to start writing projects. I've watched like 50 hours of JavaScript tutorials. I'm going to do a project. What do I do? But now I've got like 5 projects that, one of them is I've started doing something in JavaScript, and then I was like, no, I need to do some CSS.
This will go in the in the video. That's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I stuck it up with sellotape.
we we want to see some comments about that, please. Yeah, I want to see some comments about that. Yeah.
My DIY. But yeah, and I started, and then I was like, no, wait, I need to learn CSS. No, wait, I haven't even done any HTML yet. I need to do that. So then I've got CSS projects, I've got JavaScript projects, I've got an HTML project that's just like a web page. And then I was like, oh, Bootstrap. That's what I'll do. And I've got a Bootstrap project, and now I'm learning Tailwind, and I've got another project that's in Tailwind. It's like I've got so many different things, because I think, like you, I'm trying to do everything at once, which is fine. It's good. I think I'll learn, but
Yeah.
it's just kind of like scrambled eggs at the moment.
Yeah. What I suggest is, of course, is that you should take time to look for some different frameworks. For example, I mean, the mistake that I did is I just don't looked at one framework. I just used that for, let's say, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, which is not good. Is not that much, but is not that few times. So maybe you should just you check, maybe, one day. In my opinion, this is what I suggest. So maybe 1 day, 2 days, you can take to understand that. But yeah, but doing, and also I did this in a short amount of time. So like 1 week and 2 weeks on one framework, then 2 weeks on another framework. Yeah, and so yeah, I made some calculations. Like, okay, in 3 months, I understand like 10 JavaScript frameworks. I was doing like calculations like that, and it doesn't work like that. I know that now. Yeah, but in finally, yeah, I fell in love with DevOps, so now I'm happy about that. Yeah, and of course, yeah. So that's it for me. Yeah, and in the end, I think that we should find something that we'll know when we find what we want to do in this tech world. Then everything is clear. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But for a little while, you have to stand in a field and stare up at the stars
Yeah.
because you're like, it's just so overwhelming. There's just so many things. Like, what do I do first? And I think
Yeah.
it's fine to feel like that. I think everybody kind of feels like that. I still feel like that. I mean, I say still. I've literally been doing this for what's it, like 6 months, and yeah, I think it's just not being overwhelmed by stuff and trying to stick with it and think, well, I don't. This is a thing that I don't understand, but soon maybe I will understand it. Like, I never even opened. Um, I'd never opened Visual Studios or anything like that before in my life. I just thought it was something that other people did. Like it was just something that other people did. And now I'm doing it. And
Yeah.
but not really, because I think you're always still learning. Like you will never ever stop learning. And people think I'm some sort of expert. I'm definitely not. I
Yeah.
don't can they
No,
do you think there can ever be an expert?
of course. Why not?
Oh, you're a docker expert.
Why not?
Oh,
Why not? Why not? It's just a matter of practice.
yeah.
Yeah, I can say to you that I think at like 4 years ago, yeah, 4 years ago, I was just in a gym teaching volleyball to
Mhm.
people. So a kind of different job, let's say.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then I jumped. Yeah, but yeah, what I did, I jumped really hard into coding. So I went to, I went really hard on that. So I changed the job, went to university, something like that. So this is how I did that.
Mhm. Oh,
And
you
yeah,
went to university.
hmm?
You went to university.
Yeah, I did that.
Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, yes. Yeah. I also made the Docker certification associate. Happy about that last year, for example. It was very good, but this is not what makes you an expert. Just a piece of papers that I stick on that wall, and that's it. So I can brag myself whenever I pass.
Yeah.
That's it, basically.
But
Yeah. Oh, I'm so good. Yeah. And then I open my Visual Studio Code and it's full of bugs. And then I feel so down. So I can turn around and say, oh, yeah, but I was so good.
Bugs, have
Yeah,
you not seen that piece of paper
yeah,
on the wall?
yeah. I think that I should put the certificates behind this, so I can say, this paper is such an expert.
Yeah, yeah. This is a master
Definitely.
expert.
Yeah,
Okay.
but that's it. So, and thank you for sharing this with us, because I think that a lot of people will are watching these kind of videos. They can get something from this kind of videos. So yeah, I think
Yeah,
this
no,
this
it's been
can
very
be
fun.
really, yeah.
Yeah, no, thank you so much for inviting me on. I was shocked when you
No,
messaged me. I was like,
we
me?
we talk almost every day. We talk
I
almost every
know,
day. Yeah.
I know, but I'm some like newbie. I don't know what I'm doing.
Oh, yeah, no, but I like to invite the people who I talk more on Twitter. This is what's happening here, basically, because basically I want to talk to them, and then there is still these strange things. Let's call them interviews. I'm not a journalist, but let's call them interviews. People call them like that. Yeah, yeah. The exact name is Talking With, is the name of
Yeah,
this
no, I think it's
this
a good idea.
series. Yeah, so yeah, I'll say this again, maybe somewhere else, because I like this title.
Mhm.
Yeah, so that's it. So I think your experience, your let's call it short experience, could really help someone else. So
Yeah.
thank you for sharing with
Oh,
us.
thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you for the opportunity. And
yeah,
yeah, I hope that it can help someone think,
yeah.
well, I can do that. If she can do it, I can do it.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. We are
Yeah.
here. We are here to exactly to say this. Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
so
exactly.
yeah, I'd like to talk a little bit about socials. So, which socials do you use? Which is your personal experience? Do you like them? Which is your favorite Twitter account? And something like that. Of course, me.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
mean, I only have Twitter. I know that's bad, but
Mhm.
and like with this whole, I do have LinkedIn
Mhm.
actually, but yeah, and I have Twitter and LinkedIn, but I don't really go on LinkedIn very much. I prefer Twitter is fun.
You just accept you just accept the people who just want to be connected. Or,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Just go on there and click accept.
Yeah.
And like all the people on there that are like
There are-
happy birthday
but
or something.
there are stories now on LinkedIn. Are you using them?
I don't know.
I'm trying. Yeah, I've tried something like, are you watching LinkedIn stories in a LinkedIn story? So something like that. Yeah, but
Yeah,
I really
I
don't know
don't
if someone is watching them. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't really know what it is, but yeah, Twitter is like pretty much the only place that I am. And well, I'm on YouTube as well. I'm just remembering all this stuff.
Oh,
I'm
I
on,
after this call, I'll come to check if I'm already subscribed to your channel. But I really want to. Yeah. So
I think I've
do
got
you have
about
something on
2
that?
subscribers.
Hmm?
I think I've got about 2 subscribers.
You will get 3 very soon. And
Okay.
something else, I think. Yeah. So yeah. So this is
Yeah.
what are you using? What do you think about socials? What do you like? What you don't like about
I
them?
I mean, before I made this transition into tech, I hated Twitter. I've got another Twitter account that's more like political. I hate, yeah, just hated it. I thought it was a horrible place. Like Facebook, it's horrible. But now tech Twitter is so lovely, and everyone's so friendly and supportive and real. It's like no one's pretending to be anything. Well, some people are, but yeah, like people just, I
Yeah.
know people are funny and helpful, and if you've got a problem, like people genuinely want to help. Um, my favorite accounts, I think, obviously, other than you, like for information about if I wanted to learn anything, I know that I can look on your timeline or I can message you, and like you're really friendly and helpful. I think yeah, there's a couple of accounts
Mhm.
that I know, like I don't know, the people running the accounts they just seem to know everything, and you are definitely one of those people. But for humour, Jack Forge is funny. He's
Yeah.
silly but funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Danny Thompson, just
And yeah. Yeah.
motivating.
Then
And
I always call him the diamond. I'll call him like that. Yeah. That's the nickname I gave to him. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. I don't know if you watched something on the Danny Thompson on this channel. I don't know
no,
if you watched it. There's something
I didn't. I
what
must have missed it. I'll go back and find it.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had him like 1 week ago. Yeah.
Oh,
It's kind of, let's call it hold, because I've just published every day, so they get hold way fast.
yeah.
So yeah. Uh,
But
other-
yeah, I think sort of tech Twitter is like its own little safe bubble, and we're all just happy and safe, and we just talk
Mhm.
about tech, and we just help each other, and we say,
Yeah.
you know, all this CSS art that people make, and people do amazing things, and we don't want to talk about the other side of Twitter. Like, it's
Mm.
horrible out there.
Mm.
Don't go out there. Horrible.
But I think that yeah, as you say, there's the bad and good everywhere. But I think that on Twitter there are a lot of very good developers, very friendly. It's full of them. Yeah. Also for me, also for me, because I don't know everything. Not,
You do.
yeah, of course, yeah, of course. So yeah, I'm really jealous about the CSS art, for example.
Yeah.
When I
Oh, I
look at
don't
them
know.
and I say, oh, why, uh, what have I done until now with CSS? Yeah, why
Yeah,
have so many
I don't
problems?
know how they do it. Like how does one
Mm.
person have that much patience to sit there and type text like self-align or whatever it is, center about 50
Yeah,
times? And what
yeah.
aligns self? Oh, I always get it wrong. I don't know. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I remember one time I did like a poll, like which is the thing that you look for, the most of the times, that you look that you keep searching. At one, of course, it was align a div. How do yeah? This is
yeah.
one of the answers.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that's it. Yeah, we are full of jokes about this. of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah, I just
Yeah,
type center like a million times and I'm like,
yeah,
it's not working.
yeah.
But it's because I've written it in the English way of writing center
Mm,
with RE, not center ER. It's
mm,
difficult to try and remember.
yeah. Yeah, so thank you really. Yeah, and before leaving, I'd like to leave you the final phrase of this video, uh, bec- because maybe someone who has watched all this video and maybe is a very new developer, maybe he started today or maybe yesterday. What would you say to them?
Mm. If I can do it, you can do
Yeah.
it.
Oh, this is good. Yeah.
So is that okay?
Yeah, it's
Is
okay.
that okay?
Yeah, it's okay. I think that sometimes, yeah, sometimes the people just need a little push to do
Yeah.
something. Maybe
Like,
they're a bit.
yeah.
I think that in development, maybe someone is a bit scared in the
Mhm.
beginning. I don't know if you still are, or maybe you were in the past. But yeah, you don't have to. If you have chosen this path, and of course there are a lot of different specialization. You can do machine learning, web development. Sometimes I get this question. It's really hard to answer to this question because first of all, I think you need to know what you want to do. So yeah, usually if people they keep asking, I suggest web development, but maybe because it could be easier, but that's not a real answer. It could be also, yeah, of course, some people they maybe they want to work with data, for example. So why not try to some different branch? Yeah, there are a lot the test. There are so many so many things that we can do with that.
Just so many things. And yeah, I think, yeah, it's like, and ask questions as well. Questions are fine. Questions are fun.
Yeah,
People like to answer questions because it makes them feel clever. So, don't be afraid of asking questions.
yeah,
I think
yeah.
I wouldn't have learned and half of what I know now if I didn't ask questions every 5 seconds.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I
but
think sometimes that I think I'm bothering people, but I'm like, well,
no,
they'll
you're
forget
not.
tomorrow. They'll forget. It'll be fine.
No, we're not. For example, for me, I really love to answer to try to answer to your questions because, as you said, by answering to you, I'm helping myself to understand the topic a little bit better, and of course, I'm also maybe helping someone else. So why not?
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
why not?
Yeah, exactly. And I think I must ask like 100 questions a day. I'm like, oh, where is this folder? And what branch are we on now? And
Yeah.
oh, what does that do? And oh, why is that there? And like, what does that do? And
Yeah, yeah, we are full of questions. Yeah, there are a lot
yeah,
of questions and some answers, but definitely a lot of questions we have. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So thank you for coming here. It's been really a
Thank you
pleasure
so much for
to
inviting
talk to you. Yeah, yeah. I'd love to see some videos of you. Maybe one day. I don't know when. Maybe we will watch this again. I don't
me.
know, but yeah, yeah. Thank you really for
I
coming.
I have a couple of videos on YouTube, but I haven't
Uh-huh.
done one. I haven't done one for a while,
Mm.
um, because when I was ill, it affected my speech, and my speech hasn't been great recently. So I haven't done videos for a while, but it's kind of better now.
No, yeah. To me, it seems perfect. I don't know. So yeah. So yeah. So how are you fine now? Are you fine now?
um,
Better.
yeah, I need some treatment and I need some scans and stuff.
Mm.
But I might be okay. I think I'll be okay.
Yeah. I wish you best of luck, of course.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. So please follow Faye. Yeah, please wherever on Twitter and both LinkedIn, she will accept you. Yeah. So, but basically on Twitter, she's very active. As I said many times, really great sense of humor. If you're looking for a funny person, yeah, a very friendly person. She really, if you want to some help or just to be connected, yeah, it's a real yeah. I really suggest to follow
Honestly,
her.
I don't try and be funny. I'm just me. I'm just myself. Like I help people, and I know people think I'm funny.
You are in a good sense, yeah, because honestly, yes, yeah. Yeah, and as I said, yeah, from now when I read your tweets now, I read them with your voice. So I love that. I love that because I've done a lot of this kind of calls, and from now, from after the call, when I read the messages, now I can hear your voice while I read. That's very good. Yeah. So
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I think a lot. Sometimes my tweets could be taken out of context because they're not being read in my voice, and you have to be like,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
if I think if people read that, if I go back and I read my tweets, say in an American accent, it just doesn't sound right. You have to
Yeah.
read it in my voice.
Yeah, but yeah, this is also one of the reason of this kind of videos, because sometimes when you write, this can be misconcepted. Yeah, it can be interpreted in some ways. I don't know. I don't want to
Yeah,
talk about that. But yeah, but instead of videos, I think it's easier. Yeah, it's easier to understand what a person is saying. So this is also one of the reasons why I'm making this, when I'm doing this kind of crazy project. Yeah,
it's such a
and
good idea.
I really wanted you to be a part of this, so thank you for being a part of this.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah, and so
Exciting. Thank you.
yeah, and the next time I will have the WeStryve t-shirt. I promise this, and I'll have this. Yeah. So thank you,
Thank you so
thank
much.
you.
Sorry, my cat
Okay.
just
Yeah.
appeared.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Bye
Thank
bye.
you so
Bye
much.
bye.
Thank you so much. Bye
Bye
bye.
bye. Bye bye. Let's